Darkness. What could be more familiar and simple to every person? But not for Oleg. Ever since he lost his job and had to move into a cluttered rented room, darkness had taken on a whole new shade. It became alive. Every evening, when he turned off the light and lay down on the creaky couch, Oleg felt invisible eyes staring at him from the corners of the room. At first, he wrote it off as stress and fatigue, but with each passing day, the feeling grew stronger. And one day, he heard whispers. It happened on an especially cold evening. Oleg was lying down, staring at the ceiling when he suddenly felt something stir in the corner. With effort, he turned his head and froze. From the darkness, a pair of eyes was staring at him, unrealistically large, glowing with fiery light. He jumped off the couch and turned on the light. The room was empty. Only the stillness of silence filled the space. Oleg sighed and lay back down, trying to convince himself it was just his imagination. But then the whisper came. "We are here. We've always been here." He abruptly sat up, scanning the room, but saw nothing but emptiness. His breathing quickened, and his heart raced as if it was about to leap out of his chest. Oleg was afraid to turn off the light, but sleep overtook him. In his dreams, he saw dark silhouettes sliding across the room, whispering in his ear. The next morning, he decided to talk to his neighbor. She was a middle-aged woman, quiet and unremarkable, but always seemed friendly. Oleg approached her door and knocked. A few moments later, the door opened, and the woman, with a concerned look, asked, "Is something wrong?" Oleg hesitated, feeling awkward, but finally spoke up. "In my room. It feels like something is there. Every night I feel like I'm being watched. It sounds strange, but I hear whispers." The neighbor frowned, her face growing pale. "You're not the first to say that," she said slowly. "The person who lived in your room before you, he heard those whispers too. I thought it was just a coincidence, but..." She trailed off, looking anxiously toward his door. A chill ran through Oleg. He decided that he could no longer stay in this apartment and packed his things. But before leaving, he decided to spend one more night in the room to make sure it wasn't just his imagination. That night, he didn't turn off the light. He lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling, and waited. The clock ticked, time crawled by. Nothing happened. Near dawn, Oleg felt himself drifting off when suddenly the lamp illuminating the room started flickering. The light dimmed until it went out completely. Darkness filled the room. And then Oleg heard the whisper again. "You won't leave. You are ours." All through the darkness, something began to approach him. He wanted to scream, but couldn't. Fear paralyzed him. The darkness seemed to gain form and was moving toward him, whispering, laughing, and Oleg realized it wasn't just his imagination. It was something real, something unknown, terrifying. The last thing he saw before falling into the abyss of horror were those same fiery eyes, glowing in the darkness, and there were many of them. They were everywhere,